Everybody has stories that they want to talk about. And so by using symbols, you can tell a story.
I want biscuit. Okay.
I want push. Ready, go!
I joined after university. I went to an exhibition and this woman comes up to me in tears because she'd used our software to communicate with their teenage son for the first time. I suddenly realised the power of symbols.
We started Widgit in 1982 officially.
What I am most proud of is that a simple idea that we have developed as a family has grown into something that is really changing the world for so many people.
Widget symbols can be used by virtually anyone because they help you to access text. We've got parents, we have the actual symbol users themselves, we've got schools, we've got NHS trusts, speech therapists, we've got so many different types of customers.
We use widget symbols all around school, in our corridors, our outside environments, and in our classrooms.
We have 73% of our school which are English as additional language speakers. It just supports them in having a really enhanced and inclusive experience.
Lots of our learners have individualised lanyards and they can use those to communicate what their needs and their wants are.
Ready, go!
It helps us communicate with them, but more importantly, it enables all of our pupils to be able to ask for things they want and say how they're feeling.
Widget symbols have been invaluable for us in terms of building the children's independence because using widget symbols, they are able to hand an adult a symbol and say, I need that.
I think it helps structure a lot of our activities. We might have the keywords using widgets out on a sheet.
We have lots of parents who regularly request symbols and they write to us and ask us for symbols they need.
And my daughter has a diagnosis of autism. Initially, she was non-verbal, so we started to use widgets. And I'm very happy to say that Widgit has really enhanced her life. She's got a full set of communication skills.
One of our children in particular who has benefited from using these symbols is our student Phoebe. I think she found it quite frustrating to not be able to say what she wanted, and it's given her a voice to be able to control what we are doing.
We've had some amazing examples of children that have thrived because of the widget system. For example, a young man who entered the school as completely non-verbal. He's actually built up a vocabulary, he's using them to support him with his writing. He's accessing the curriculum alongside his peers, which would have been impossible without having the symbols there for him, the support.
I had a little boy who loved singing, but he was completely non-verbal, but we gave him the song sheet and he'd go along with his finger to the beat of the music.
It's all about really getting that meaning across, and the visuals are something that children like my son can learn, and then that can be used to support all different contexts.
It's such a simple thing, just having a picture, and it helps so many different people use it.
Having widget symbols around can be a time saver. Pupils are able to be really independent. They're able to find their way around the school by using the signage without having to ask somebody to read the signs or to ask for directions, for example.
If you use your voice, it's not a static thing, it's gone. If you use a sign, it's there and it's gone. But if you use a symbol, it's permanent, it's there.
And I think it's so important for this processing time that our children really, really need.
Through using Widget, I'm able to secure their understanding with new vocabulary and a new concept, and then keep using those same visuals each time I want them to be able to retrieve that information.
In terms of behaviour, it's quite impactful for the students. They can say if they're happy or sad, and they may be able to then learn through the systems of how they can then express that and what that means, and how they also then can problem solve that. So if they're feeling sad, we might be able to give them choices to help them to make them feel happy.
A world without symbols would be quite sad, really, because a lot of our pupils' confidence comes from being able to communicate, and their chosen way to communicate is symbols.
It would be very chaotic, and I think the well-being of the children would not be being looked after, and we'd have lots of behaviours.
As a teacher, my job would be so much harder without widget symbols.
Widget, it's everything, to be honest. Everything on Widget is so helpful. I would say a 10 out of 10 of Widget.
When I have been
out with someone who needs to use widgets and I've seen them, it's made me just really excited and really happy.
I would definitely recommend widget symbols to any school. I personally love using them. I know our learners love to use them as well, just because it gives them that extra additional element of support.
It's so creative, and amongst our staff, we all come up with different ideas of using it.
I can't imagine school life now without symbols.
Do we want wet mud with water in, or do we want dry mud?
Dry mud.
Dry.
The future of Widgit is really in spreading out our symbol language to as many people as possible.
I'd like to see symbols everywhere for everything so that everybody can have that communication and everybody can have that understanding.
From a widget perspective, we want to move the use of symbols from a niche to the norm. We want to treat people well, we want to give them the tools and the space to do what they can do as best they can, and really kind of encourage and support them along that journey.
Not only when we're making products that change the world and we're good for our customers, but we treat our staff well, we work well with partnerships. That's why putting in things like B Corps and different progressive policies in place will make a big difference for the future, because I'd like to make sure anyone that works for Widgit has just an amazing life and sees a real value in the things that they do.